story. It's a true story. There was a movie made a few years ago with the actor Leonardo DiCaprio. It was a true story about a man who he pretended to be many things. He acted like a doctor, but he was not a doctor. He acted like an airplane pilot, but he was not a pilot. And he did many things, but he was not those things. He actually performed surgery. He made everybody think he was a doctor, but he had never been to medical school. He read some books, and he fooled everybody. He tricked them, and he made them think that he was a doctor. And then he left, and he made the people at the airlines think that he was a pilot. And he flew a plane, but he was not a pilot. And he did many things like that. And that was a true story. He did not hurt anybody, but he was not true. He was not the real thing. In World War II, the Nazis, the Germans, they got Germans who were born in America. They could speak English very good, but they were really Germans and Nazis in their hearts. And they put them in American uniforms, and they parachuted them into the American lines. And what they did, they turned around the road signs to confuse the American troops. And so they would turn the road sign around, and the Americans would go the wrong way. And so they did many things to attack the Americans and destroy the American troops. And so they were false. They were not real American soldiers. They looked like American soldiers, but they were really the enemy. And that's what Jesus talks about in this scripture. He talks about enemies that look like friends. He says, watch out for false prophets. Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious, dangerous wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes? No, they do not. You pick grapes from grapevines. Or do people pick figs from thistles? No. Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear or give good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus, by their fruits you will recognize them. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only he who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Many people will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy or preach in your name? And in your name did we not drive out demons and perform miracles? Then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers. Jesus wants us to be careful. He wants us to watch out, to be on guard, because he tells us there are many false prophets, many false teachers. It is very sad in America today. There are many false teachers. In churches, there are many false preachers. They say things that are not true. They teach things that are not true.